every area of my life, I would say that is complete. I've been married for 12 years now, and I'm really happy married. And the way I see my son focus now, he's really focused, he loves what he's doing, and I'm so pleased to see him. And my financial life today, I'm working the place I want to work. It's something that I'm very happy with. But it wasn't always like this. The struggle that I was facing as a single mom was loneliness. And I was on my own. I felt like nobody will want me because I've got the child. My self-esteem went really, really low. I didn't believe in myself. So I was like, there's nothing more to be done. Who will look at me? I have to work long hours to manage even the rent where we were. So I didn't have time with him. So that contributed into him being away or doing whatever he was doing, because all the stars that I was not monitoring or was not supervising him, he was doing what he wanted to do. Sometimes, it's difficult as a parent, especially a single parent. You're going out, you're doing things, but you don't have time to talk. When you sit down to talk to them, you realize they really need you, but you don't have time. Okay, I've provided food, go and sleep, that kind of thing. So when I came to church, I was taught how to use my faith. For me, faith was a big word. How am I using my faith? And that's when we had helpers and explain to us how you're going to do practical things. For example, how am I going to bond with my son so that he will be able to listen and we'll be able to be this family that we're looking for. When you talk to them, you realize that they really need to talk, they really need to express themselves, they really want to hear your voice. So that helps, because it was quite practical, because I was not doing all those things. And for me, that helps to change and direct my son who he is today. So then I started attending Love Life meetings, which we were told, people like me who lost hope. And one of the things that when I went in, one of the things I really want to know, how can I build myself up? How can I bring back my self-esteem? Because I didn't have no self-esteem at all. And through those meetings, that's when we were told to love ourselves. And for me, it was like, how? And the simple things, even the way you dress, the way you look, the way you smell. And through those meetings, I realized, what, I can't build up, I can't come up back. And I started building my self-confidence. And that's when I met my husband, and today we are happily married for 12 years. And I'm happy. What I can say today is that don't lose hope. There is a way out. And most people think it's over. As I was thinking, I was in the same situation. But today I'm happily married. I've got a lovely son. My financial life is changed. So there is hope if you look for one.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. If I was to ask you now, what are the worst obstacles that are getting in your way, that are a problem to you? What would you say to me? Something that has to do with your finances, a court issue, maybe a health issue that you are dealing with right now, maybe a difficult boss at work, having a hard time with the competition there, the loss of someone very dearest to you. So what obstacle are you facing right now? What is it that is causing this problem in your way, this wall in your way? Then what if I said to you that this obstacle can be seen by you not as a problem, not as a hindrance, not as something that will hold you back and put your life at a standstill, but actually you can see it as an opportunity for you to learn something, for you to find out how strong you really are, how determined you really are, and something to even give you an experience with God, to lead you to have an experience with the power of God and find out that the power of your faith, regardless of its size, can really make a change in your life. So this is what we're talking about tonight on this episode of Finding Answers. Face your obstacles. How to do it. How can I turn my obstacle into a step up towards my victory and my goal? If this is relevant to you, is pertinent to what you're going through, then stay with us, because for the next hour, we're going to be addressing this issue. Watch this video that speaks even more in depth what we're talking about, and we'll come back to talk to you more about this.
There are seemingly small obstacles that stand in between us and our goals. But then there can be bigger obstacles. These are things that we believe to be impossible to overcome. The obstacles that fill us with fear and a desire to run away. These obstacles may be in our environment, such as having to be somewhere or a financial need. But many obstacles are developed in our own minds, such as a fear of failure, a lack of discipline, or feeling unworthy. But dealing with obstacles is a crucial part of being successful in life. But you can just push through some obstacles. It may even increase our sense of commitment to our goal. But some research has found that we can associate key obstacles with the goals that they block. For example, seeing a tempting piece of cake can actually remind us that we are on a diet. But when faced with new obstacles, this kind of automatic reminding doesn't work. Social psychology suggests that when we hit a new obstacle, one way that we deal with it is by thinking about the problem more globally. And when we do this, we are more likely to experience fear. But if you would like to reach your goals, then you really do need to face the obstacles.
So right now, you might be facing a situation and look at it like it is the end of the line for you. There's nothing else to do. You believe you tried everything. But it takes an obstacle, and facing the obstacle, for a person to find out that their limit is not there, that it doesn't stop there. This obstacle that is standing in front of you right now, blocking your way, telling you can't go forward, you can go past it. You can actually, the biggest influential people we have in the world today, regardless of the area that they are influential, in business, in politics, in sports, they are also the people who had to face the biggest obstacles. And it was these obstacles, and maybe even at times the failures before the obstacles, but the persistence, insisting on not giving up, being hell-bent on achieving their goals, that developed the strength, that developed the knowledge, that developed the understanding that showed them the pathway to their victory. You see, there are certain things that you simply can't learn in a school or in a course. Theory is important, but theory is only effective to a certain point. From a certain point onwards is the practice. So I want to challenge you tonight to stop saying that you can't beat this situation. Stop saying that it's all over for you. Stop believing that this is going to be your life and there's nothing that you can do about it, because there's a lot of things that you can do about it, even though you have done many things. But don't say you have done everything, because had you done everything, you would already have overcome the situation. We are here to challenge you to believe and to show you through testimonies. We have a live guest here with us tonight who is going to share her experience with faith, that if you learn how to tap into the power of your faith, then you can put this issue behind you and come out stronger, wiser, better, all across the board. Tonight with us we have Victoria. Good evening.
Good evening.
So Victoria, is it possible for someone to to shift focus from having a negative perspective on the obstacle to having a positive one and see it as an opportunity to overcome? Your opinion on that?
Well, ideally, everybody should see obstacles as opportunities, but it really does depend on your past experiences, I would say. So it's called experiential learning, and the best way to learn is by actually doing. So if you've had an obstacle in the past and you've overcome it and actually it's gone well, then the next time you have an obstacle, you'll feel more empowered and more positive towards it. The problem comes is when you either avoid your obstacles and then you have the fear and you make up what could possibly happen, but you don't know because you haven't faced it, or you have an obstacle and it doesn't quite work out. But you can shift the focus, absolutely. It's all about thinking about your cognitive thought processes, so the way that your brain works, and really trying to shift it towards the positive. You might need some support, you might need some help from family members, some friends, but absolutely you can do it.
And maybe these obstacles that seem to be so scary are actually not even there, just in the person's imagination. I believe there's a lot of people watching us right now, Victoria, that are thinking that, if I tell the truth, then this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And they are creating 1 million negative scenarios. So in other words, they did not even tell the truth yet. They did not even try to face the obstacle. They are just conjecturing of this and that can go wrong, when in fact many times when people try to face their obstacles and do something about it, they're going to find out that this monster that they were imagining is not even there. It doesn't even exist. The situation can be solved in a much smoother way than at first they were imagining, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. When people overthink problems that they haven't actually spoken about, they tend to put a much heavy weighting on them in terms of negativity. So if you do have something that you want to tell somebody, it's actually very rare for them to respond in the way that you think they will. People are often much more laid back, they're much more positive. So it is worth talking to somebody about whatever it is you're thinking, because otherwise it will just fester and it will get more and more significant in your brain, whereas usually it doesn't actually have to.
Very good. So if you feel affected by negativity, you have now a huge challenge in front of you, and you have come to the conclusion that by yourself you can't handle. You need help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, admitting that I need help. Actually, if you want our help, our trained advisors are here, available to take your call right now. Should you want to speak to us, you can call now. Our lines are open, 0207 686 6300. Even if you say, I just need a prayer. I believe in the power of prayer. I'm going through a difficult situation right now. Maybe in your house at this very moment, this time at night, past 11, it's pandemonium. Everything is upside down. It's a mess. And you just need to speak to someone. You need somebody to pray with you, to counsel you. Then do give us a call, because we're here to help. Or you can send us an email. The email address is?
It's help@findanswers.tv, or you can also send us a tweet. Just start your tweet with @findanswerstv, or talk to us on Facebook. Just search for Finding Answers.
Very good. So we're going to go to a short break and come back right away.
The pursuit of happiness. What will make you happy? Success? Fame? New shoes? Financial security? Love? Education? Independence? Family? Sometimes in the pursuit of things we think will bring us happiness, sometimes we fail to see that we aren't happy, or we never find it. We live in a world of people. Rather than pursue things to make you happy, what if we all worked to make each other happy? Wouldn't we all be happier? This is your UCKG timetable. We are open 7 days a week, helping you to make a new beginning. Monday, a meeting focused on achieving more in your financial life. Tuesday, prayers for healing. Wednesday, a meeting teaching you to develop in your spiritual life. Thursday, a special prayer for the family. Friday, a service for your spiritual deliverance. Saturday, Find the One, a service specifically tailored for your love life. Sunday, reconnect with God, the main meeting for your spiritual strength.
What would you do if you had to protect a great treasure? If the answer is obvious when it comes to material wealth, it should be even more obvious when the treasure is greater: your marriage. In Bulletproof Marriage, the couple Renato and Cristiane Cardoso offer solid guidance to those who appreciate the value of their relationship and want to shield it against the risk of divorce. Besides their years of counselling thousands of couples, Renato and Cristiane present the hugely successful TV show The Love School, as well as marriage courses around the world. In over 2 decades, they have lived in 3 countries and have given hundreds of talks in more than 30 countries. Speaking from their long and sometimes troubled marriage experience, the couple offer practical tips to protect current and future relationships. To order your book online or for more information on the Love School event 2014, visit our site, theloveschoolevent.com. This event was brought to you by the UCKG Help Centre.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight our topic is Face the Obstacles. Now, it's quite natural for us to want to avoid facing obstacles. They can be time-consuming and drain our energy, and they can also take effort to overcome. But studies have found that if we take a more global approach to overcoming obstacles, we're more better equipped to deal with what life throws at us. So a global approach means seeing the bigger picture. But whilst this is more useful for us, it can be ultimately more scary. But the worst thing that you can do is to procrastinate and pretend that the obstacles aren't there in the first place. So now let's go to the general public on the streets of London to see what they have to say about obstacles.
Definitely depression is probably number one.
They're arguing and they're talking negatively about each other.
What is more valuable than another? And so
you can have as many friends and families as you want. It just depends.
Is a common regret, like, oh, like I should have like asked that person out, or like.
Hi, I'm Chika here on the streets of London for Finding Answers. Tonight's topic is Face the Obstacles. Whether big or small, obstacles we all face. But I'm going to be asking the general public today if they think obstacles are always a bad thing. Let's see what they say. Are obstacles always a bad thing?
No, they're not always a bad thing. Sometimes a good thing. You need obstacles in your life to be able to progress and get by them and give you confidence. Yeah, I think obstacles are good.
I do as well. Obstacles give you determination to get around them then. So yeah, I think obstacles are a good thing.
I'd say they were always a good thing because, I mean, they make you stronger in the end and more prepared in the future for other obstacles, you know.
No, I don't think they're always a bad thing. I think that with life there's always going to be obstacles and you just kind of have to get used to, dealing with them. And I think that the most important thing is to be more adaptable to situations and different obstacles and different problems. So no, they're not a bad thing at all.
So as you could see the opinions from the people in the streets of London, I want to quote here something that Jesus said in scriptures. He said, in this world you go through tribulation. In other words, you will face obstacles. There will be problems. But he said, cheer up, be of good cheer, because I have overcome the world. You see, if you believe in God, you're a person who is watching me now, and you claim to have faith in God, this should be your attitude. You know, the attitude of someone that's saying, okay, I have this situation in front of me. I don't know exactly how I'm going to overcome. Maybe I don't have a clue of what I'm going to do, but I believe that with the help of God and with the help of my faith, I can overcome. I can be stronger after this. Even some people there, I don't know if they believed in God or not, they didn't speak much about their faith, but many agreed that obstacles are not always a problem. So you don't have to have a pessimistic view about the obstacles. You know, Jesus confronted many, and there was not a single one that was able to hold him back. That's why we love to use him as a role model. He's the main role model of faith because he really left the example there. Many people came to him with problems. He was confronting problems every day. He had his own plus the ones of the people who went to look for his help. And look at what he did. He never backed out of a challenge. He never ran away. Even, when he was confronted with death, he was able to go through it. So how do you find the strength? Because you're saying, I know Jesus did it, but I'm not Jesus. Yeah, but you can be like him. You can be like him. And how to do this? You have to learn how to use your faith. There is this power inside you, but maybe you don't know how to unlock it. So how do I unlock the power of my faith? Listen, it is something that you have to, it starts by you deciding to get closer to God, by letting go of these wrong ideas that maybe you are allowing there to dwell in your mind, to sit there, that nothing will ever change, that, it's all over for you, that you are too far gone, that you're over the hill, and at this age where you are now, nothing else will happen. If it didn't happen until now, it's not going to happen. Get rid of these ideas. It's the first step. I can't tell you everything how to unlock the power of faith in 1 hour, but I can say that this will really be crucial for you to do. Give up this idea that your life can't change and there's only so much that you can do. Everything is possible if you learn how to use the power of faith. And I want to show you proof of that because we have here a live guest, Caroline, who is going to share with us her story of victory. Let's see what she has to say.
It's pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Okay, Caroline, good evening and welcome to Finding Answers, okay?
Hello, good evening, thank you.
So you faced obstacles before, yes?
Yes.
Big ones.
Yeah.
Tell us about your problem.
Before this problem that I had, actually, everything was okay. I was this person who would plan, and as I plan, I give all that is there to be done. I do everything that's there to be done in order to achieve. So since childhood, in terms of academics, I did very well. Not up until when I got to, so I didn't know what is to fail, basically. I always wondered if another student would come up and say, gosh, I failed. I just thought, I don't know what happened with that one. Maybe she was playing, not really paying attention. So when it started to come to my own life, when I realized, having prepared as well for that particular examination at a university now, I just found that I have failed. That did not really go down very well, considering the fact that I had plans. I've sacrificed a lot throughout in my life in order to be able, so I was really focused. So that came as a really, it came as a big disappointment.
It was like a devastating blow to you.
Yes.
Because you seem to be a very sensible person, right?
Yeah.
You plan things, you have a very rational approach to things. Is that right?
That's correct.
This is from the start of the conversation I can get. So failure was not a part of the, was not an option to you.
No.
And even you would maybe inside have a little bit of criticism and judgment towards those who would fail and say, well, maybe it's because they are not well prepared, right? But when it finally happened to you, you didn't know how to, you couldn't handle it, right?
I fell off the game. Just felt like I'm out of the game of the real players.
How did that failure affect you? Did you get depressed? Did you start to drink? What did you do?
Oh yeah, I did actually get serious depression at that point, and to a point of having like suicidal thoughts, because I really, when I opened, I remember the results. Gosh, I was sweating. I just could not believe what I was seeing there. And yeah, so...
It even came to the point of thinking about committing suicide?
Oh yes,
because it was, you were betting all your chips on that career.
That's correct,
It meant basically everything to you.
It was everything. So everything in life, my life was planned. So I knew I'm going this way, that way. As I said, I've really sacrificed everything.
But there were other avenues that you could have taken, right? For instance, you could have tried again, right? You could, you didn't have to believe that that was the end, but simply the fact that you were really not expecting that to happen, it really threw a wrench in the whole machine there, right? It took things out of control. It's a very good point, because people watching us now, maybe it's the same with you. You know, you've put all your trust, all your confidence, and you got so well prepared for something so important to you. Your career, having a baby, getting married, you know, building up a family. And then you covered all your bases. You thought you had it all figured out. It's impossible that this can't work. And then it didn't work. And you are now at this point, you know, all bent out of shape, not even knowing what to do. So, you know, there's no law, right? There's no law, Caroline, that says that if you tried once and you fail, that it will always be like that.
Oh, no.
Right? There's no such law. But in that moment, it's like all that you could see in front of you was that failure.
Oh, yeah, just went blank. I just thought, wow, there's no way out. What happened here? And
did you give up?
As a result, not really, because you know, if you're a strong player in everything that you do, it's very hard to actually break a spirit of a person. But I was completely down, went flat, because I was thinking, my classmates, people are just going to go past me. I'm just going to be left behind. Oh gosh, will I ever? And yeah, so it was a case of me having now to sit down and really have a real good conversation with myself and the situation on how to actually get back on the game.
So that didn't mean that you gave up your goal, right, of succeeding in your career. I believe this is what you wanted, but at the same time, you didn't know how to bounce back.
That's correct. That's the word. Yeah, I really drew back, and I found myself in this like standstill mode. Inside, I'm a dreamer. I want this, but I don't have strength.
Let me ask you here, are you the kind of person that you set up your expectations about yourself beyond beyond the top? You expect a lot, right? From
oh yeah, I expect a lot. That I've always, as a
perfection,
child, if you like, I have set it up like that. I had a list as a child, say, this is, I'm not going to do this and that, that people of my peers would do, because I know at a certain age, this is where I want to be.
You wanted to really excel.
So this is where, these obstacles stood in the way.
Which is good. It's a good thing. You should have high expectations. You should, you know, strive to excel, but you just can't be too hard on yourself, because that can create an extra obstacle, an extra strain, right? You know, actually, recently I read something from Bill Gates. He said something, and I quote, "Success is a lousy teacher." Because when you keep succeeding all the time, you can get the false sense that you can never fail. And it's just not, you know, so not true. So once again, the fear of failure can be a huge obstacle to you, which I believe it was your case, right? You were so nervous when you opened that envelope with your results, because it's like you were saying, my life depends on this. I can't fail. And you found out you failed, and you were not prepared to deal with that situation. So having a plan B is not being pessimistic all the time, but understanding that even when I put all my confidence in something, let's say that it doesn't work, what can I do? It's not the end of the world. You should have other options. You can do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to get well prepared. I know it's just a bummer that we invested so much money and time, and I'll have to do it again, but you know what? Sometimes that's what it takes, you know? Sometimes for you to succeed once, you have to try twice, 3 times, 4 times. But as long as you are getting to your goal, then you're making it. And it doesn't matter it's not about how many times you have to try. It's about achieving what is important for you. And you should not compromise on what is important for you. When we come back, Caroline is going to share with us how was she able to overcome this, how she found out what to do, and we're going to be giving you practical advice on this. Remember, you can still call us if you want prayer, if you want guidance, if you want to speak to someone, if you're at this point where you don't know what else to do, if you relate to her story, you can speak to us even here live on air by calling 0207 686 6300, or you can send an email to help@findinganswers.tv. These are the two most immediate ways that you can interact with us. We're going to go to a short break. Back after this.
Has the US been steering killer drones searching for missiles won't reach Syria for several months. Fighter jets to be outside.
The UCKG Helpline Call Centre is open 24 hours a day, every day of the week, all year round. If you need help due to a serious problem you may be going through, if you feel that you have nowhere to turn to and desperately need someone to lend a listening ear, then we can help you. It doesn't matter who you are or what you have done, your religion or race, your call will be answered by someone who genuinely cares about you and has your best interests at heart. We also arrange home visits for the housebound and hospital visits for anyone in great need of kindly human contact. Whether it is simply information you want or desperately need someone to talk to, we're here for you on 0207 686 6000.
Welcome back to Finding Answers, and tonight we are talking about face your obstacles. How important it is for you to achieve your goals, to do that, to face your obstacles. And towards the end of the program, we are going to offer a prayer on your behalf. You who are now depressed, feeling lost, at a low point in life, even lonely and rejected. So prepare a glass with water. I have mine here. And towards the end, we're going to pray for you. Okay, you can still call us and include your name for prayer. The phone number will appear on the screen. And back here with Caroline. So what was the turning point, Caroline? Because I believe that today you are on the way back on the right track, right?
Yes.
How did you go from that point A to the point where you are now? How did things begin to change?
Oh, okay. Well, first I had to make a decision now. Because looking at the time, and I decided to really have a good sit with myself and regain strength. But I also went to a certain place where it's spiritual, where they were helping really. That's where, because I went and then I spoke to someone, one of the advisors, and he sort of advised, and he told me, you stop right now to call yourself an average. And that's where I actually realized that, wow, I was actually considering myself and talking to myself in a way that I would not accept anybody actually to. And that was a wake-up call.
You were bringing your own self down.
Yes, there was no longer...
So just, you mentioned something, it's very subtle, but extremely important. You said you had to sit down and have a conversation with yourself. You had to regroup within yourself, right? That is the moment that you started believing.
That's the moment, yeah.
And at some point, you understood that you needed help. So you went to look for this place where you found guidance, right? You needed guidance. Is that it?
That's
spiritual
correct,
support,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
To connect with God. Yes?
Yeah.
How did that include faith, building up a relationship with God? How did things continue evolving from there?
Oh yeah, it was a matter of faith really, more than anything, that had actually helped me to get up now and be in a position where I am today. You know, you get to, what I received there was positive words taken from the script as well. And I was able to go home as well, meditate on that. I was now, you know, for instance, I could just quote 1 Joshua. I started using that particular chapter in the Bible. That really helped me. Be courageous, strong, because I was weak. I was the opposite of
when God said to him, be strong and very courageous, right?
Yeah.
Because he was in front of a big obstacle,
I was
right?
in front
Leading
of
people, walls of Jericho. Talk about somebody who faced obstacle, we talk about Joshua. So those words inspired you.
They inspired me. So throughout I was meditating on that, and it sort of helped me to have a drive and keep going. And yeah, as well, I mean...
were you a person of strong faith before you went to the place?
I did before. I was, but I did not understand the term faith, as in what is it exactly? What is faith? So that's where I actually learned that it's action, believing in God as well.
So it's
and
it's not that you didn't have the faith. That's the reason why I asked you this question, because the faith was already there, right? Is that it?
That's
correct.
correct.
You just needed some guidance to learn how to use.
How to apply it in practice, yes.
In a practical way, right? So you see, you're watching us now. Sometimes you're trying to reinvent yourself. You think that you have to do this huge, humongous transformation when actually it's only about learning how to use the tools you already have. It's all there. The power is in you already. You have to learn how to unlock this power. And we believe in faith. We believe that the power of faith has to bring results. If you believe in God, then your life must succeed. You have to succeed because God, He wants you to succeed. If that is not happening, something is wrong. And in that case, do as Caroline did. Admit you need help, go and seek for help. To, get closer to God is the advice that we give to you. So you started to apply the Word of God. You started to listen to that counseling, right? To believe in yourself, that you could do it again, to believe more in God. The results.
Oh, yeah. The results were now is I'm able to, like, another thing what is good about is when you meditate as well, or using God as well to be able to help you, is you're able to stay focused, because this is what helped me. You can do away with all these negative things because you're meditating on what the script is telling you. And that way you just focus really. And you're able to go out there and you put into practice what you have been meditating on. So all the negative words, they've got no room. So which is what is helping me. So if I go out, as I was starting to come out, because then I had to start to, work again more hours in order to be able to have more money to go back and pay my fees. Because at first it was all, oh gosh, I feel I won't have enough money again to go back. So all this, I was able to regain strength and put that into practice. Everything is possible with God. Things are possible.
In other words, it was a change of mindset.
It was a change of mindset.
Right?
Yeah.
You got rid of those ideas that were actually negative, toxic, and not true. because there was a way for you to pay for the things, right? To still believe in your dream again. And you replace those wrong ideas for the right ones, for the thoughts that are inspired in Scripture, by God's Word.
Yes.
And that empowered you to put your life back on the right track again, to take your life back.
Yeah.
Did you take your life back?
I did take my life back, yeah, because this September, after September, I'll be going back now and continuing with my studies. I'm confident as well, because another thing that was actually taking time was, oh gosh, if I go back, doubts were coming now. Would I be able to be a loss of money? But although I want this dream, but I'm positive and determined, and I know much more. Actually, the interesting thing about it is that with God as well, He gives more sort of wisdom and bigger vision. When I sit down and sort of look at my own before, it's nothing compared to what God is now driving me to.
So you muster the courage to try again.
Yes.
You're going to do it again.
I am going to do it again.
And something that maybe to those who didn't have this issue of this panic, I would say, of failing, may not seem much, but to those who have an issue with this like you used to have, is a big step.
It is a big
right?
step, yeah.
He empowered you. God empowered you to do it again, to believe in your dream again. And this time, you're actually going to do much better. You're going to pass because you are more well prepared. You have in the baggage the experience before, that even though it was a failure, but you are not seeing it as a failure because it's experience for you to do better this time.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I agree. My past experience is the source in which I actually draw the strength now. So I know that, okay, because I have been through it before, so now I'm going to be approaching it in a different way, and with the strength of God, obviously, I know everything will be possible.
You
I'm
are confident
optimistic
today.
and confident, yeah.
No more depression.
Oh, no.
You're not lost anymore.
No.
You bounced back.
I'm bounced back.
Very good. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Actually, stay here with us, Caroline, because we're going to pray at the end, okay? But now speaking to you, you see, there's something about faith that you have to understand. Faith only looks in one direction, which is forward. If it's going to consider the past, it's just to study what has to be changed, what has to be improved, what has to be adjusted, and then it immediately takes a decision to do something right now in the present, targeting the future. If you are thinking about your past, dwelling in the past, beating yourself up for the things that you have done, regretting your decisions, your wrong decisions, but not doing anything to project a better future, then you're not using your faith. You're not using your faith. So understand this. Look forward, look straight ahead. You know, you're not in the past. You're not the teenager anymore. You're not that child anymore that went through that traumatic experience. You are living in the now. Okay, it's July, it's 2015. So if something from the past is hurting you, I said this before, I say this again, it's just your memory. So it's like you're carrying this heavy package that you don't have to be carrying it. You can decide to drop it right now. Drop the heavy load, the unnecessary burden, and move on to a better future. This is the advice that we leave you with in this break. Okay, you can call us, once again giving you the phone number 0207-686-6300 if you want to be inspired, if you want a prayer. And we're going to go to a break. When we come back, Bishop Jean will be here with us discussing the issue, face your obstacles. Back after this.
My Channel TV, featuring a kaleidoscopic daily dose of programming. Stay with us every day and explore politics, economics, science, technology, lifestyle, culture, sports, and much more. We're here to amuse you, to keep you updated, and to keep you company. We're My Channel, your channel on Sky 203.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. We're going to be praying for you soon, but before we do that, we have here tonight with us a special guest, Bishop Jean Paul. Good evening, Bishop.
Good evening, how are you?
Fine, thanks, Bishop. We are talking about tonight facing the obstacles, and I was just thinking about, from the perspective of faith, an obstacle isn't a problem, but just an opportunity to learn something new, develop our faith, get stronger in our relationship with God, and have even a testimony, a story of success, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's something very relevant to every human being, because in the end of the day, whatever we want to do in life, you will face obstacles. You know, starting from our early days at school, okay? We have to face the obstacle of learning how to write, learning how to read, learning how to absorb the lessons that we get from the teachers, and challenge ourselves every time we have to write a test. And as we grow, the challenges and the obstacles grow along. This is something natural, it's part of life. The higher you want to get, the greater will be the obstacles. Now, the problem is when people fail. And when you fail, you know, the natural response is, you know, to look down, to think that you can't, to beat yourself up, to start even confessing negative words, words of defeat. You know, I don't think this is for me. I don't think I was born to do this. But what is failure? Failure is nothing more, nothing less than success in the making. And Pastor Edward, if a person is afraid to fail, that person is afraid to conquer, because it's part and parcel of the whole thing, of the whole process.
Yes, there are certain things that can't be learned except through the failure. As we said in the beginning, something that you can't learn in school, you can't learn in university, even with all the importance of education, but failure could be part of the education of the person. That's the point. Right? And even Jesus himself, if we speak about God, Jesus, you know, those who believe in the Bible, he also had prayers that didn't work. Once he prayed for a man to heal the man from blindness, and he asked the man, "What do you see?" And I believe he was expecting at that moment to hear from the man, "Oh, I'm fine," as it had happened numerous times before. But that time the man was honest to say, I'm seeing men walking as trees. In other words, the vision was very impaired. So we don't see Jesus, you know, just saying, well, you know, just hope for the best. At least I tried. He laid hands on the man again, and he, you know, prayed again and said, "Now, look, now I see perfectly." You know, it took 2 prayers. So even you know, God at times had to do something more than once. He's been trying to save many people until today who still don't hear him, but we don't see him giving up. So giving up, Bishop, is not a part of the vocabulary of faith, right?
Exactly. And you mentioned a very important point. You see, the greatest obstacle that Jesus faced was people's unbelief. There was one time he even said, "Oh, unbelieving generation, how long will I be with you, and how long will I suffer you?" That's because people wouldn't believe him. They would say they would believe, but in fact, they wouldn't. And perhaps this is your greatest obstacle, to believe that there is a higher power that can really help you out. Believing yourself is already an obstacle in itself. Many people simply don't have self-belief. Many people just like to feel, you know, self-pity and say, "Oh, you know what, this is it, this is my life, there's nothing I can do." Well, the first thing what faith can do, and we heard our guest speaking a lot, how faith helped her overcome the process of failure, and how confident she is today in getting ready, getting prepared for September, when she'll go back to university, and this time around the story will be different. She brought faith into her life. Faith helped her to build her self-confidence. Faith helped her to believe, to regain her self-belief. And this is very important, because when someone realizes that alone he or she can't, that's the first step to heal, to transform, and to conquer. and eventually overcome the obstacle and take possession of your dreams.
So taking even what you're saying as a hook, why not break this obstacle right now? Maybe this is the obstacle that you're facing, to believe. So we want to pray for you. And I want to challenge you, even if you say, but I don't believe in prayer, I don't do much prayer. Try it now. And believe that this prayer can be effective to help you overcome this challenge. It's time for prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your financial life, send your name and a prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My God, we challenged this person who is watching us to participate of this prayer in this moment. So you have to answer. Sorry to speak to you this way, my Lord, but there has to be a sign, because we don't believe in you for nothing. We don't need a sign to believe in you, but because we believe in you, we ask you for this sign, because if you don't send an answer now, what will this person do? What are the hope? What are the hopes? What can she or he hope for if you don't send your answer now, if you don't send your healing now, if you don't send an inspiration now, a boost in this person's self-confidence? God, that's what we ask you to do. We reach out. We know there's people watching us from even other countries outside England. And I know that wherever, Lord, our voice is reaching, so is your Spirit. So please, lift up this person. Remove this sadness, this negativity, this burden brought by negative forces from this person's shoulders, from their minds, this web of negativity wallowing in their past failures. We rebuke this now in the name of the Lord Jesus, and we remove this by faith from their lives. I'm seeing it as if you will, with your own hands, removing these issues, this weight right now. In Jesus' name, you watching us, be free. Receive freedom from where you are. Breathe deep in and out. And as your lungs, are filled with air, as air is filling up your lungs, so is God now filling you up with strength, with hope, with confidence. We bless you from here. We bless you. In faith, we bless you. And if you receive this blessing, all you need to do is to just say, Amen. And we also bless this water. When you drink, be empowered. Feel free to drink it right now. So we are coming to the end of tonight's program. I want to thank Bishop Jean for being with us tonight. Also our live guest who is here, and you for watching us. It was a pleasure. Tomorrow, same time, same station, we shall be here again. Good night.